What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sisters. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sistas. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
All right, Sistas fans, now $250,000. Go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and select all. That way you don't miss out when I post new content. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Gary, via the postal system, and Fatima handed $250,000 over to Andi. I believe it was stated when Gary was talking with Hayden about how because of all this nonsense, Andi has lost everything. But Gary, in a kind of blink and you miss it moment, well, technically not blink, but if your ears are closed for a moment, you miss it. He said like a backhanded comment that his business manager was working on something that could help out Andi. And of course, we later find out it's that cardboard box full of money, which in the preview for the upcoming episode is confirmed that it's $250,000. So the question that a lot of people are asking is, wait, if everything was seized by the FBI, then how did Gary get $250,000 in order to help Andi? Again, this business manager of his, which again, business manager can mean a lot of different things. It could just be a cover title. Maybe this dude does something else, but either way, he somehow got $250K and sent it to Andi. Now, some people are suspecting Fatima's up to no good, but I honestly don't suspect that, because the reason I think Gary sent it to Fatima to give to Andi is because Gary trusts that Fatima would give the money over to Andi. And if you remember in season 1, I believe there was an episode, it was after Andi was let go or suspended or fired, whatever the terminology you want to use. Basically, it was when the conflict of interest between Jasmine Borders being her client was discovered and Jasmine was potentially going to sue the law firm. Andi was let go. She was sent home. And Fatima rolled a cart into her apartment saying, hey girl, here's everything from your office. And it was actually Gary under the sheet, because at this point, Andi was not talking with Gary. And this was the only way to get her to talk to her. And I believe to talk to him. And I believe Fatima said that Gary paid her in order to allow this to happen. So at that time, Gary tried to give her, I believe, like $100,000, but she refused it. But in this case, her face lit up when she saw that $250K. But to be honest, circumstances were different given the fact that she has lost everything up to this point. And she was wearing her friend's clothes and rolling with her credit card. So this money was definitely a positive for Andi. So do we know how she got the money? I mean, he got the money. I honestly don't know. I mean, again, this is this alleged business manager, so he probably has his hands tied. I mean, to be honest, you could make the argument that it was said that the government took the money because, what was it, some kind of wire transfer that went into Andi's account to be held, this money. But then the government took it, because I was about to say this $250,000. How do we know this isn't just part of the money that she had in her account? I forgot the exact amount Andi said that she had at the end of season 1, but I think it was like $300,000 or $400,000 in her bank account that was suddenly gone. So I don't think this $250,000 is part of that, but this money came from somewhere. I just don't know where. So to be completely honest, I'm as dumbfounded as the rest of you, but I will say I don't think Fatima is doing anything dirty. I just think that if you go back to season 1 where Gary paid Fatima in order to get him into her apartment, I think that's why the money was sent to Fatima, because she could be trusted to give it over to Andi. At least I think so, but that's just my opinion. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Where do you think Gary got the money from? Do you think Andi will keep this money after they have a falling out in jail this week when she goes to talk to him and he goes off about the whole Hayden situation? And with that being said, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, I mean, if there's anyone who wants to give me $250,000, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month.